The top 5 mistakes beginners make when home charging are so glaringly obvious to us veterans that we wonder if we ever did any of these. And you veterans beware, despite your years of home charging, we lead with one mistake that I bet very few veterans have seriously thought about. Some mistakes just cost you money, others can seriously damage your EV. The number one mistake is actually a 3-in-1 in itself, a real bargain. This is Dave Takes It On. I'm Dave, and let's get the ball rolling with the one that applies equally for the veterans and total beginners. Number 5. Charge your EV during peak times. Yeah, you heard me. Deliberately charge your EV using peak electricity prices. Crazy? Not at all. You see, some drivers cover more miles than most. Many arrive home from work about 6 or 7 o'clock with a very low state of charge, and then religiously wait till 11:30 or sometimes 1:30 for the peak session to begin, and then stop the charge the moment the cheap session ends, even if their state of charge at that time is still only 60% and they need 85. Now, out on the road the next day, they'll probably have to top up at a public charger at public peak rates, and I bet the price there is more than the peak rate at home. Well, this applies mainly to those with Type 1 slow chargers, known as granny chargers, but not exclusively. If you need a full charge and cannot complete that in the 5, 6 or 7 hours of cheap off-peak rates, just use your home peak rate. Mine with Octopus Energy is 29.84 pence per kilowatt hour. That'll be far cheaper than the 79 or 89 pence you might face out on the road. Even my really cheap Tesla supercharger rate, as I film this video, is 41p. That's over 11p per kilowatt more expensive, which is more than a fiver saved by charging at home at peak rates. Use peak charging if you need to. Number 4, use all of your off-peak allowance if needed. No, this doesn't contradict number 5. It's just plain common sense. It would be silly and expensive to plug in and charge at 6 o'clock when you get home at peak rate if you only need a small top-up of 3 or 4 hours. And that session finishes before your cheap off-peak rate even begins. That will cost you an extra £11. Try to estimate how long your EV will take based on the state of charge, start and finish, and time the start to include all of your cheap off-peak rate. If you need extra time, maybe start your session at 9:30 instead of 11:30, so you pay just 2 hours of peak rate before it drops down to 11:30 to the cheap rate for the remainder of the session. That one small difference might add as little as £1 or so to the total cost. Number 3, choose your charge locations carefully. Sounds like a small detail, but getting it wrong is a recipe for daily frustration, could be a safety hazard, and might add hundreds of pounds to the cost. Safety first. You should never have cables trailing across commonly used paths or drives. On a dark winter's morning, you definitely do not want your postman or Amazon delivery driver tripping over, and most certainly not your partner arriving back late in the dark after a night out. Nor should your charger cable be stretched really tight to reach when plugged in. This can damage the charger and possibly your charger socket on your EV. Choose a location with plenty of slack or order a charger with a longer than average cable. Well, this also means knowing where your new charging port is on your new EV. It's not fun to install it right at the front of the garage furthest from the door if you're always driving forward, only to find when your EV arrives that the socket is on the rear quarter out of reach. Well, the least you must do is find out where the charger socket is before choosing your location. But also now look at the electrics. The ideal location might also be the most expensive to install. In my case, I had a choice of 2 locations, one on the side of the porch, the other on the side of the house. Installing on the porch wall was really quick, easy and cheap, as the consumer unit and incoming main supply are both located in or on the porch. The sidewall beyond the gate was totally out of sight from the front and was aesthetically the only location, according to my wife. But that would involve either running a very expensive long armoured cable over a long distance round the outside, or face a very disruptive internal connection because there is no easy route inside the house from the porch without practically ripping out our newly installed kitchen to hide the cable. Once again, according to my wife, that kitchen option was a non-starter. Well, the porch sidewall was totally safe, had no cables trailing over paths or driveways heading up to the door, presenting a tripping hazard, and was completed really quickly and cheaply. The electricians clearly loved the 2-metre cable run between the consumer unit and the charger. By the way, my wife now doesn't seem to mind the final location. Well, at least she never mentions it. Maybe something to do with her getting an EV of her own? We never know. Now, if you're interested in getting the most out of your EV home charger and this video helps, then please do me a favour, like and subscribe. But we've still got the 2 biggest mistakes yet to go. And so far we've concentrated on saving and safety. But now we tackle the battery life expectancy. Get this wrong and you can seriously shorten that. Number 2, never charge to 100% every night. Now we get to the controversial mistake and most serious one. Charging to 100% every night is the most damaging thing you can possibly do to your battery. You've got your new EV, you've got your new home charger, so why not simply plug it in every night and use it every night? You get home, stated charge is reading 82%, you plug it in, you want to take it back up to 100%. Now the answer to that is there is nothing you could choose to do to your battery that is more damaging than doing that every night. Now, imagine for a minute your battery is a balloon. Blow it up to its full extent and the tension in the skin is simply immense. How immense you can find out just instantly by barely gently touching it with a pin. Your EV battery is the same. When it's charged right up to 100% every night, it will spend almost its entire life absolutely full, practically bursting with energy, just straining to get out. This is seriously damaging your battery and reducing not only its lifespan, but also its efficiency. It will deteriorate much quicker if you do this, and that means you lose range fast. So before viewers flood my comments section with claims of, well, LFP should be charged to 100% every time, or what use is the battery if you can't use it all, let me explain in plain English. The easiest way to look back is to look back at your petrol days. Did you do that with your ICE car? Every day on the way home, did you stop off at the petrol station and top up less than a gallon? Of course you didn't. That's why you have a petrol tank. Most people are perfectly happy to set off for work every day in their petrol car or to that country pub at the weekend with a tank that's only 2/3 half or even a third full. You don't feel the need to top it up every single time you drive 4 miles to work. That's why EVs have a battery, and your battery loves being treated the same. Now, you can use it all, yes, all 100% of the capacity, but batteries much prefer not require, to be treated more gently, and here are the golden rules. Charge it to 100% if and only if you really absolutely positively need all of that range for the same day or the following day. Even then, avoid reaching 100% too early, say at midnight, and then leaving it at full charge until midday when you set off for that country pub meal. Even though you have your own petrol station right there outside your front door, why do you top up every single night? The very best way to treat your battery is to just check when you get home and only top up any amount if you actually need it for the very next day. When you check and find you do need to charge, only ever charge to 70 to 80% for your daily trips. And this should mean you only plug in once or twice a week. I actually have 3 EVs in my household, and most nights, none of them are on charge. Now, only specifically before a long road trip, charge to 90 to 95%. That's like in the old days, filling your petrol tank until the nozzle clicks off. Charging to 100% is like being totally pedantic and continuing with your petrol pump past that, really slowly, carefully pressing the trigger until you can actually see the petrol rising in the filler neck. Charging to 90% might give you 200-mile range, 100% might offer 20 mile more. That's it. Is that worth it if your battery is being seriously damaged? Well, from a battery chemistry point of view, NMC batteries should preferably never be charged to 100%. LFP does like to be charged to 100% once in a while, but definitely not every single night. No battery should ever be subjected to that. Well, number 1, check if you can get a cheap or free charger installed before you dash out and spend £1,000 buying one. Well, first check to see if your EV comes with a granny charger already supplied, packed in a neat case in the boot. One of mine was. These plug one end into your EV, the other end into a simple 13 amp house socket. That might be in your garage or a waterproof socket on an exterior wall that you had installed for your lawnmower, hedge trimmer, or those lights marking out your driveway. Before splashing out £1,000 on a 7 kilowatt home charger, run this free setup for a while and see how you get on with it. About 50% of all home chargers are these granny chargers, and those EV drivers cope perfectly well. You might find you cope perfectly well also. You just saved £1,000. Now, if you do find it limiting, but it's only once or twice a year, just refer back to mistake number 1 and use your granny charger at peak times to make up the difference. Only if you cannot cope regularly should you go for a proper home charger. But even then, don't dash out and buy one. Do your homework. Second, some EVs come with a proper 7 kilowatt home charger supplied in a box in the boot. All you need to do is pay an electrician to install it. Now, some utility companies offer a free or discounted 7 kilowatt charger, including installation, if you switch to them. Some leasing companies throw one in free of charge as a thank you. Others might offer you a free charger, fully installed, if you link your home charger to a smart home system like Hive. Well, that costs $3.99 a month, so a free charger worth £1,000 is an absolute no-brainer. Look for these deals. Spend a few minutes on the internet searching. Finally, yeah, I said this is a 3-in-1 mistake. Finally, or should this be firstly, check if your new EV or utility switch comes with a free or discounted charging offer. Recently, Vauxhall offered a year free charging at Tesco. BMW and Audi regularly offer a free membership if you charge at Ionity, while currently Eon Drive offers a year's free charging if you switch to them. If you get any sort of offer, grab it. A year's free charging, even at the crazy cheap off-peak rates, I'll save you over £100. So thanks for sticking around to the very end. I hope you learned something from this and enjoyed the video. Learning does not need to be boring. A single suggestion could save you money, some could save a lot of money, and one can save your battery life. EVs are fun, and home charging should just make it so much easier, maybe even more fun. So to all you veterans out there, did you know all them? More importantly, do you practice all of them all the time? Let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know if you have a suggestion that I missed and should have included. I'm Dave.